Hey everyone, this is Sasha bringing you a video tutorial today from BP4U, and today we're going to be talking about some more of the items up here in the menu. So let's start with Enhance. So we have all these auto features here. We've got Auto Smart Fix, Auto Levels, Auto Contrast, Auto Color Correction, Auto Sharpen, and Auto Red Eye Fix. So any of these that you click on will automatically do what they say they are, like Auto Contrast will automatically give you contrast. Auto Levels will automatically move the level sliders to a position where it thinks would be best for your photo, and so on. So to apply these, the first thing I want to do is duplicate my background layer so that I'm not working directly on the background layer. It's a lot easier to drag this to the trash if I don't like it than it is to either undo steps or revert my photo, and so on. So here we can Auto Levels, and we can see the before and the after on that. We've got, Auto Color Correction, and so here we can just keep going with that until we are satisfied. The next thing that we have is this Adjust Smart Fix, and here we can add how much Smart Fix that we want to our photos, something from just a little bit to a whole lot. And when you're happy with that, you could just press OK, and that would again apply to the background layer or the background copy, since we have changed that to a copy. Here we've got this Adjust Lighting. We've talked about brightness and contrast and levels, and we've sort of already talked about the shadows and highlights too, but let's go over these things again. So here we can lighten our shadows, and here we can darken up our highlights. And here we can play with the mid-tone contrast to kind of get a look that we find most appealing to us. Maybe something like that I kind of like. And you can see that it has evened out our lighting a lot, and it has made her skin look a lot softer and smoother, and so on. Okay, so next we have the brightness and the contrast. Again, you can add brightness or take away brightness. You can add contrast or remove contrast. And levels. Here we've got our histogram with our level sliders. We can brighten our midtones, darken our midtones. We can add blacks or leave our blacks to where they already are by default. Or we can brighten our highlights. Here we can lighten our shadows, and we can darken our highlights there. And here we can also play with the red and cyan, green and magenta, and blue and yellow channels as well to change the colors in our photograph, and we can use them to correct them or to get a creative edit. Now here we have this Adjust Color options here. The first thing we can do is remove a color cast, and we can click on part of our image that should either be gray, white, or black. And you see she's got a gray sweater, and so we can click around on her sweater until we get a look that is desirable for us. And I think something probably around in here, in my opinion, looks the best. But we could just keep kind of clicking around. We also have, I like it right here. This is probably where I would leave it. We also have this rock down here though, so we could kind of click around on it as well to get a look that we are looking for. So then we have this, we have Adjust Hue and Saturation. Again, we can add saturation. We can desaturate our photo. We can change the hue and the lightness or the darkness of that particular color. Also with the hue and saturation, that's working on the master mode, which is the entire photograph. We can change that to work on just the reds. We can work on just the yellows and kind of change the way that the yellows look. We can increase those yellows saturation. Maybe give them a little bit of a different look, and so you can see the before and the after of that there. And so on all the way down with green, cyan, blue, and magenta as well. The next thing that we have on our list here is remove color, which just desaturates your photo. Here we have replace color, which is really fun because you can click on a part of your photo and you can see it down here on your mask. And keep in mind that this is a mask, so white reveals, black conceals. You can change the hue of that then, the saturation, and the lightness or the darkness of it. And then here you can add to your selection. And here you can remove parts of your photo from your selection. And so right here you can kind of preview that. And then OK applies it to your picture and cancel removes that from your picture. We already talked about curves in the last video. Here we've got adjust color for skin tone. So to use this tool, you just click on the skin. And Elements is going to go in and it's going to adjust your picture the way that it sees fit to improve the colors. And then we can go through after that and we can move these sliders and adjust them to fit our needs. We can control how tan the skin is, and so this lightens it up. This obviously darkens it. I'm going to lighten it up some from where Elements put it. This adds kind of that rosy color to the skin. And here's your temperature where you can warm skin up or cool it down. So that looks pretty good to me. And so you can see the before and the after on that. Here you have this defringe layer option, which is for removing the halo around layers that you have added over top of your background layer. For example, if you cut and you paste something from another photograph onto this one, or you did some composites and you had a halo around the edge, that would remove that for you. And then here we have this color variations. And so all you have to do is you can click on as many or as few of these color variations as you want to kind of get a look that you are interested in. You can increase your intensity up here, and then you can do the same for the midtones, shadows, highlights, and the saturation. And so here maybe you wanted to decrease the reds in your shadows, or you could increase them, or decrease or increase green, and then same with blue. Or you could, lighten up your shadows, or you could darken your shadows. And then we have it again here for the highlights as well. If you go too crazy and you don't like the effect, you can reset the image and it'll take it back to the before. If you're happy with that, you can press OK. If you only want to undo your last move, for example, if I added this purple over here, this magenta, I could undo that and I could take that last filter off. Or if I hit the increased saturation, again, I could undo that as well without undoing every change that I have made. If you hate all of the changes, you click reset. If you changed your mind about the undo, you could hit redo and then go back to undo again. When you're happy, you press OK or cancel to not apply any of those changes to your photo. So here we can do black and whites. Now this black and white box is pretty fun. You have some preset styles down here that you can click around and click through. So let's use portrait for this one. You can also control the intensity of these colors here. So we've got red. Maybe we'll bring down our green some. And then we've got blue. We can kind of play with that one as well. And then we can add some contrast, or we can remove the contrast. I want mine to have a little bit of contrast. Maybe pull down on those reds some. And I would probably be happy with this. And so that would be my before, and this would be my after. OK applies it to your picture. Reset resets all these sliders down here. Cancel takes you back out of this menu without making any changes to your photo. Undoes your last move, like that, and then redo would reapply that last move that you made. So here we've got an unsharp mask. Contrary to what you might think, the unsharp mask does not unsharpen your photograph. It actually adds sharpening to your photograph. And so if we pull the radius up, the higher the radius is, all of these kind of control the amount and where the sharpening is located. I can click around to get my preview in here. I can control the amount here. The higher the radius that I have, the more of the sharpening effect I'm going to get as well. And so the radius, I want to keep fairly low, generally speaking, unless I'm going for some kind of HDR effect. I usually keep mine right around here, but you can counterbalance that with your threshold, which kind of softens everything else up. And so some people like to do the 10, 10, 10. And so that goes a little something like this. Or some people like to do the 20, 10, 10. And so it just depends what kind of look that you're going for and what that you are aiming to kind of pull out of that. And so mine would probably look something a little bit like this if I was going to do some sharpening. And so you can see there that her eyelashes, look nice and crisp. I don't want to go too much because everybody's going to know right away as soon as they see my picture that I have sharpened it. But I do want to do it enough that it has that nice crisp look to it. Probably, again, right around in here. Oh, and then here we also have another way to adjust our sharpness. And again, you can see this box that I'm moving around. And you can pull this box to click on any part of your photograph that you're wanting to look at the sharpening of. And so here you can change your amount. You can change your radius. You can pull your radius back some. And here you can make it a little bit more refined, which kind of gives her a little bit more of a porous look to her skin. And here you can decide what kind of blur that you are removing from your photograph with this sharpening. And so that is all of the enhanced tools. So thank you for watching this video tutorial. Happy editing!